Welcome back to History. This video is for April 23rd. Yesterday, I talked about Abraham Lincoln, and one of the character qualities that he had was humility. Well, today I want to remind you of another character trait that Abraham Lincoln displayed, and that was the character trait of honesty. In Proverbs 12:22, the Bible tells us, "Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who act faithfully are his delight." The word abomination means a thing that causes disgust or hatred. So God hates lying. He wants us to always tell the truth, to be truthful in our words and in our actions. And remember, one of the 10 commandments is, "Thou shalt not lie." And so God wants us to be honest and remember that those who act faithfully are his delight. So we want to delight the Lord by being honest in our words and our actions. There's a story told about Abraham Lincoln. It might not be true, but it says that he once, when working at a store, overcharged a customer. And so he walked a great distance to repay the customer the little bit of money that he overcharged him. And that's how he got the nickname Honest Abe. We don't know for sure if that's true, but we know that there were many other things in his life that pointed to him being an honest person. Well, today I have a fun project for you. You aren't going to read any pages in chapter 13 today. Today you're going to make a log cabin that may look somewhat similar to the one that Abraham Lincoln grew up in. So if you picked up your packet from school yesterday, you should have found in that packet a worksheet that looks like this. It says Log Cabin Worksheet. If you weren't able to go to school and pick up your packet, there is a PDF of the worksheet on Google Classroom, and you can find it there and print it out. And if you're not able to print it out at home, maybe you can just draw one that looks similar. If you can just look at it on your computer and then try to draw one. So I've given you the directions. The first thing you need to do is color your log cabin. So of course, it's a log cabin. It's made out of wood, so you want to color it so that it looks like it's made from wood. But if you want to be creative and make it another color, that's fine too. It's your project. Then, after you color it, you're going to cut out around the outside lines. So your log cabin should look something like this after you color it. So you color it, you cut it all out. Then I gave you a piece of brown construction paper. It was stapled to the worksheet. So you're going to glue the log cabin that you cut out to the brown construction paper provided, and then you'll have to trim off any excess construction paper. So it should look like this on the outside and this on the inside. You've glued it to your brown construction paper, and then you're going to trim around it. So this is what you want your log cabin to look like so far. And then it says fold tabs and 4 sides and then glue together. So what you're going to do is you're basically going to fold it where you see the lines with logs. So it's actually 3 folds. So you fold it and you fold it and you fold it, and then where the tabs are, you're going to fold those tabs down and in. And on the instructions on the worksheet, I did say glue, but if you want to use tape, that might actually work a little better. Gluing can get a little tricky. You have to be patient. You have to be willing to sit there and hold it before you go on to the next step. So you can try tape or glue, whatever you'd like. So I'm going to use tape. So I'm going to take this tab and I'm going to put it under the roof right here. And it's still even a little tricky with tape. I'm going to tape it down. Excuse me. Okay, and then this next tab goes on this side. Hope you can see what I'm doing in here. Try to hold it up so you can see. I'm going to tape that. And I'm just going to keep going around. The next tab goes on the next side. You can see the roof's kind of bending over. Tape that inside. It's a little slippery after you color it. I used crayons and that crayon's kind of waxy and slippery. But you can use whatever you want. That tape did not hold very well. Try another piece. Move it up higher. Okay, this one's not looking so good either. That's better, I think. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. It's getting there. Okay, and then this tab goes under this side. You need about 3 or 4 hands to do this. Maybe you can get somebody in your family to help you. Okay, so now it looks like this. And then the tab at the top goes under. This is where it gets really tricky. Probably should have done that one before I did some of the others. Get it under there as best I can. Try to hold it and put a couple pieces of tape there. See if that'll keep it together. Hopefully. I don't know. Okay, not too bad. All right, I could go back and maybe put a few more pieces of tape, but you get the idea. Okay, so there's my log cabin. It's got a stone fireplace on the side. There's the door, there's the window, there's the log cabin. All right, so you can make that today, and just remember about Abraham Lincoln being born and raised in a log cabin. Now, if you're a little bit more ambitious and you want to take this project a step farther, you can do a little bit more. And you do not have to do this. None of this is required. This is just a fun project for you to do. You can make the cabin or not, it's up to you. And then if you want to take it to the next level, I'll show you what I did. I found something on Pinterest that I thought would be fun to try. So I made a different log cabin as well. And I made this log cabin out of pretzels because they really look a lot like logs, don't they? And I happened to have a bag of pretzels, and I also had a carton that was from some whipping cream, and that made the perfect shape for my log cabin. So I just used good old Elmer's glue, a lot of it, and I put glue on the sides. I did one side at a time, put some glue down, put the pretzels down, just kept building it up as I went around. And I put pretzels on the sides and on the back. And then I did some across the roof. And then I used, since this had a hole for the cream to pour out, I had a caramel that I used to put on the holes, and that's the chimney of my log cabin. And then I used one of the graham cracker squares to make the door for my cabin. So if you want to, you can try something like this. It took a little bit of time, but it was a fun project. A lot of glue, a lot of pretzels, but I just want you to have fun with this. You can do this however you want. If you don't have pretzels at home, look around and see what you might be able to use. So I thought of a few other things you could use. If you have a lot of toothpicks, you could use toothpicks. If you have popsicle sticks, those would work too. If you don't have either of those, try going out in the front yard. I went and looked in my front yard a few minutes ago, and I found some sticks, and I could just break those up, and I could make those the right size depending on what I was using for my shape, and I could glue those on. So those would be maybe easy for you to find as well. Whatever you use though, please check with your parents first and make sure that it's okay to use that. If they don't want you using up all the pretzels in the house or all the toothpicks or whatever, you might want to go out in the yard and just look for sticks. But those would make a really realistic looking log cabin as well. And then if you don't happen to have a carton of any type that would be around this size, you could look for other things around the house. I don't always have cartons like this either. I just happen to have whipping cream for some things that I made. I made a banana cream pie. It was really good. And so I thought about maybe a little box. I found this box that I had. This could be a great shape for a log cabin. I just might have to find something to help shape the roof a little bit, but this would be a little smaller. You wouldn't need as many pretzels or sticks or anything. That might be a little easier to use. This was even a piece of cardboard that happened to go around this box, and this would make a good shape for a log cabin. And again, I would just need to make a roof, and then I could glue little twigs or whatever to the sides of that and make a log cabin. If you have some cardboard around the house, maybe you can use that and make a shape for your logs to surround for your cabin. So just look around your house, see whatever you might have fun with it if you decide to do the project, and I'd love to see pictures of it if you do. Last week when we did the quilt square, Reagan did an amazing job on her quilt square. She actually sewed it and she emailed a picture to me, and I loved seeing that. So if you decide to do the log cabin, whether it's the paper project that I sent home for you, or you get a little more ambitious and you make one out of pretzels or sticks or something, send me a picture. I'd love to see. Have fun with your project. Have a great day.